Greetings everyone, welcome back for another matchup, and I'm gonna start with game 1 from a best out of 3 series taken from the JustinTV Invitational. It's a fairly recent event that has been attracting a lot of attentions now, and obviously attracting some of the top European and North American players, and this is one of those situations. We're gonna have here a TVZ between this red Terran here, Drewbie, representing Team Root Gaming, and as you guys know, he's one of the managers of Team Root along with Root Cats. He's the captain of the team if I'm not mistaken, and he's a Canadian Terran player that has been solidifying his playstyle and becoming one of the references playing Terran on the North American servers. In my opinion, he's still a work in progress. He has potential to evolve more, to do better, so I guess we're gonna have more of ROOTdrewbie in the future, hopefully showing us his skill set and his potential. He's gonna be facing here against this Green Zerg that I'm pretty sure most of you already recognize, EGIdrA, Greg Fields. The guy is back home, he's playing on the US again. He withdrew from the GSL, he's not living in Korea anymore, and hopefully we're gonna have more of him showing up on the tournament scene, both North American and European. Can only be good. I mean, it's a nice boost to the scenes outside of Korea. He's one of the solid macro monsters playing Zerg, and I'm just eager to see him here facing against Drewbie. They're going to be facing on this map. I'm not sure if all of you guys recognize the map, but this is a version, an adaptation that ICC Cup did of an old Brood War map. It's called Fighting Spirit. Well, basically ICC Cup Fighting Spirit. It's the Starcraft 2 version. Fighting Spirit was a very well recognized the map back on the days of Brood War, was played a lot on tournaments and all of that. And as you can see, has an interesting disposition of the bases. The bases are different here, especially the access to the natural expo. EGIdrA already going for the fast hatch, not even establishing the spawning pool, just starting it now, so hatch first into spawning pool. But like I mentioned, if you notice here, Drewbie has to go down in this area to go for his natural expo, while EGIdrA goes straight forward here into his natural expo. So different disposition on these positions here. As you can see, this base, probably Drewbie will have to be aware of the fact that he won't be having any visibility to this edge of his base, and this might spell trouble. Some drops might occur, Nida's network, I don't know, but he doesn't have visibility here. He probably needs to get some proximity detectors, and also there's not much of gold-rich mineral fields to mine here, except for a huge major one in the middle of the map. Let's take a look at it. As you can see here in the middle of the map, you have these destructible rocks that you need to clean, then you can establish a base, and you have rich mineral fields, and also something that you don't see that often, rich Vespine geysers. So whoever is able to grab hold of this base is going to boost his economy tremendously, just by a ton. The problem is that it's in the middle of the map, so hard to defend, and has this 2 choke points here that must be defended. Also, this area, as you can see, it's completely walled off around, so it's always a risk, but you know that the risk pays off if you're able to defend it, and it's also something to take into consideration, especially when the game stretches into its mid and late game, because it might provide a huge income if you're able to defend it. Okay, so now following this matchup, as you can see, first couple of Zerglings arriving here on Drewbie's base. Drewbie stabilizing here, getting some defenses so he can expand into a command center on the natural expo. He made the wall off, but didn't last longer. He went straight to grab that natural expo. He needs to keep playing on his econ game and guaranteeing, assuring that he will have what it takes to boosting his economy and produce as many units as possible, also replenishing his army as fast as possible. So based on the fact that he's facing here against a Zerg player, he obviously needs to keep massing up, needs to have some proper defenses, and also need to be aware that we're talking about EGIdrA and he knows his playstyle, so if he doesn't keep macroing and getting a nice build here, he probably might end up getting out macroed with EGIdrA just grabbing all the bases he can, while Drewbie might be trying to go for 2 base play or 3 base play. And also on this map, as you can see, the third base is fairly far away, so not easy to defend. Drewbie probably will expand to this as his third base, I would assume, while EGIdrA has to expand to this one, and it's a fairly fairly long distance. It's not very easy to grab your third on this map. It's also a chance, a risk, but as you guys know, there will be a moment where the players have to decide to make their own mind about that expanding. If they allow the game to go much further than mid-game, I would say, if it enters the late game, they will have to commit themselves into establish a third base and so on. For now, EGIdrA getting a Baneling nest here, also has the spawning pool. He was getting the Zergling speed already done, while on Drewbie's side, his base has 1 Rax. He went factory as well with the tech lab, so getting the Infernal Preigniter and 3 Hellions getting produced at the same time out of these 2 bases. Interesting, he's gonna go for Mass Hellion, and well, it is an effective unit against Zerglings and drones as well. If they actually arrive into the main base and the mineral lines from EGIdrA, it's gonna get really messy. For now, EGIdrA just droning up like mad. He's already ahead, 40 against 37, leading the way there, and at the same time containing the progress from Drewbie, making sure he keeps some Zerglings here on this area to notice when Drewbie attempts to push out or even tries to go and advance into this third base. Though he can build a command center inside this main base and just fly it there, I guess. Incoming a big mass of Hellions advancing towards the base from EGIdrA, straight into that natural exo. There's a lot of Hellions here, 8 Hellions. And with Infernal Preigniter, they will be able to make a huge roast. Nice EGIdrA with the static defenses, Spine Crawlers and Queens trying to hold back. Oh, huge roast of those Zerglings. There's nothing left almost, but the Spine Crawler and Queens able to defend this first assault. Was a big loss there on the Zergling count for EGIdrA, but still survived, and now even cancelling the second Spine Crawler. 1 will be enough, backed up by the Queens, and now that he was able to fend off that first assault, he's gonna be able to gather up more defenses, make sure he's gonna resist and defend against more Hellion aggression incoming from Drewbie's. Meanwhile, Drewbie's getting his command center, getting ready probably to fly it up to this third base. It's an option. I mean, might be easier than just keep playing out of 2 bases, because the game keeps moving on, keeps flowing, and he needs to keep his economy up and running. Let's take a look at the economy at the moment. As you can see, Drewbie's pulling ahead on 2 base versus 2 base, not by much, though the harvester count is fairly similar. He will be benefiting from the mules, so that will help him out. And EGIdrA just taking the chance and going for the third base, a bit further away, as I mentioned, as you can see, so a bit harder to defend. Probably EGIdrA will have to work on his creep spread towards that location, so we'll be able to defend it with much ease. And the first Mutalisks flying around, while Thor's incoming from Drewbie's. So Drewbie's trying to get some proper counter to that Mutalisk play. There's plenty of production facilities already inside Drewbie's main base, while the Mutalisks fly around. Still not much of a big wing of Mutalisks, but enough to harass, and the Thor's starting to pop up on the edge of the main base, blasting away to the Mutalisks of EGIdrA and making sure he's going to be able to shoot them away while he establishes all of his bases. Notice the amount of attachments that he's got here, all reactors, so we're going to have heavy Marine play here, I would say. Marines quite effective with their DPS against the Mutalisks as well. Medivacs incoming, so M&M ensuing pretty soon, with EGIdrA almost finishing up his third base and preparing his Mutalisk wing once again to advance into his opponent's base. Incoming, there it is, Drewbie's advancing with his command center towards that third base. The Mutalisks are waiting for it, they're gonna start blasting away, but Drewbie's playing just brilliantly and bringing his forces to accompany to scout that command center. Plenty of air defense here, 2 Thors, so well defended there, containing the aggression from EGIdrA and not allowing EGIdrA to start poking at that third base. For now, taking a look at both bases here, as you can see, all of the production facilities from Drewbie's are here on this main base, and this army has been pumping out some Thors. The Thors backed up by that amount of Marines that Drewbie's has been established will bring huge benefits, and at the same time we see EGIdrA just entering macro mode and going for a 4th base as well. So playing out of 3 bases, 4th base incoming, and there's a big wing of Mutalisks already flying up here straight into that mineral line on the natural expo and get blasted away by the missile turrets. He does have enough of those Mutalisks to blast away the missile turrets, but he decided to pull back once more while Drewbie's establishes 3rd base, planetary fortress here to make sure he won't be harassed. You know how hard it is to defend this place, so he's getting the planetary defense here, the planetary fortress, backed up by a couple of siege tanks to make sure he has what it takes to blast away any kind of ground forces that EGIdrA might decide to send there. Keep in mind that EGIdrA has been keeping tabs on this base from DrewbieDrewbie. He has one there, one overlord, another one here, just checking all the movements there, while he keeps attempting to advance with this big Mutalisk wing. Let's take a look at the army counts. As you can see, for now we have EGIdrA leading the way, but not by much. 137 against 145 now. And we have as well on the unit composition a lot of Mutalisks for EGIdrA, as you can see, 20 Mutalisks, and we have 35 Marines, 2 Thors and 4 siege tanks for DrewbieDrewbie. So nice unit composition here. He's getting 20 Banelings ready. Ooh, there they are. And now DrewbieDrewbie apparently will be slowly pushing into the creep, but he needs to be careful because this middle area here is fairly wide open and will allow for nice flanking moves, and also with proper micro like EGIdrA has, he'll be able to go mass Zergling and Banelings with speed into these forces from DrewbieDrewbie and just wreak havoc onto his front line. I think that DrewbieDrewbie would be considering to recede all this creep, to just blast away the creep tumors and make sure that he won't be fighting on all of this creep, or else if he's surrounded by creep he might be in for a surprise. He's actually moving some units here to this place because the overlords are just pooping creep onto the bases and not allowing DrewbieDrewbie to expand properly. And incoming DrewbieDrewbie is gonna take the chance and risk advancing into all of these units. Oh no, all of the Banelings surrounding the units. Oh, massive damage there with the Banelings smashing into that big bio ball. Not much of it left. And the Mutalisk just finishing off what was left of the mech. Those two Thors getting magic boxed on the top by this big Mutalisk wing, and there's nothing left of ROOTdrewbie's army. He just basically had to GG out of this match. Ooh, huge pain here, not good, and he just saw his army completely melted away in like what, 10 seconds? Look at the difference after what happened here. So I guess that that confrontation on top of the creep wasn't a good idea. EGIdrA has Banelings with speed and Zerglings with speed, backed up by this big Mutalisk wing. They were just able to finish off the forces from DrewbieDrewbie so quickly. And well, game 1 goes for EGIdrA. Let's follow for game 2. See you all later. Have fun.